and I just noticed how much fluff is now all over my leg, thanks to Betty. She's molting like mad at the moment. Oh, and welcome to another YouTube edition. I'll be honest, I lost a little bit of consistency because I said I was going to do this every single week, and then I've missed the last 2 weeks. In my defence, there's been a few family things kind of going on. If you followed me for a little while, you probably know Dad's currently going through kind of chemo, and unfortunately, also we had a house sale we've had to just pull out of because of a survey. But I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to go into the subject of what I want to talk about today, or me and Betty want to talk about today. However, she doesn't really say much. She doesn't say anything at all, actually. Which is going to be about rates of loss when it comes to fat loss, because I think this is such a big kind of topic at the moment, even more so with Mounjaro, GLP-1s, where people are losing weight very, very quickly. And I've got a lot of clients that are feeling maybe a little bit disheartened when they're seeing maybe friends or family members or people online losing 5 to 10 pounds per week, and these really kind of crazy kind of weight losses. And I'm just going to talk about how that isn't actually a good thing. And as a coach, if I had a client losing that much weight on a weekly basis, one of the things that I would do pretty quickly is bring calories back up, because we do not want to be losing muscle tissue. We want to be looking at kind of long-term kind of success with this. And it's not just from like an aesthetic point of view either. It can also be dangerous, because what a lot of people are doing is they're losing weight rapidly. They're then not learning any kind of behaviors of how to kind of keep that off for good, or they're not doing any level of kind of reverse diet. They are losing muscle tissue. So the research has kind of shown us, particularly with Mounjaro, like 40 to 50% of it is actually coming from muscle. And with that, when they gain weight back, they're returning to the same weight they were before. However, this time with less muscle. So when we look at it from a body fat percentage point of view or a body comp point of view, they're technically getting fatter, which again, like I just said, it's not really just about the aesthetical side of this. It's any time I refuse to I'll stop stroking you, is it? It's not just down to like the aesthetical side. If we look at the dangers of osteoporosis, arthritis, diabetes, and other chronic illnesses that become a bigger risk factor with a lack of muscle, and then combine that with an increased level of body fat as well, it is something that is pretty dangerous. And this is why I'm so passionate about it, and almost want to kind of like fight against it a little bit, because I completely get it, and I don't want to look at other people's results and like lower them down or anything else like that, because I get it. Like when you're in a place that you're not feeling good within yourself, you're feeling miserable, you're not happy in your own skin, it's not a nice place to be. However, we have got to be patient with this stuff, and we've got to play the long game, particularly if we want this to be a lifestyle and something you can sustain, and you want to end that trap of just basically jumping from one diet to the next, right? So if you do this the right way, you've only got to do it once, and then once we hit that maintenance, you can maintain it. And if you just look at a few of my clients here, they are really, really good kind of examples of what that looks like. So Alison in particular, if you look at the rate of loss, she's been working with me for around about 20 months now. But if we look at this graph, and we can kind of see that nice little trend, at no point has metabolic rate kind of slowed down. And the best bit is, you'll be surprised at how many calories we managed to start on. So to start with, she actually lost weight on 2,200 to 2,400, and it's only as her weight has decreased that we've started to lower that. But that is a really good sign that she's maintaining muscle, and you can see from her composition, she's losing body fat, maintaining that muscle tissue, but also she's getting stronger in the gym. So that is another really good sign that we're maintaining. And then there's another client here, and you can kind of see from the photos. So in this first photo was when she actually worked with another coach that dieted her really hard on about 1,200 calories. And I think it was for about 10 to 12 weeks. And you can kind of see that she's dropped weight, but she has also dropped muscle tissue. And this is what we've got to look at. We've got to look at when we're looking at physique changes. The goal is that fat loss, maintaining muscle mass, and that's what's going to give you that toned appearance that you want. What ended up happening is she kind of rebounded out the other side because obviously it wasn't sustainable. She ended up gaining some body fat. So she went from about 61 kg up to about 80 kg. And then she started working with me. And initially, when we started working together, she was getting worried kind of like on a weekly kind of basis that the weight loss wasn't quick enough. She was asking me, do I need to take my calories down? I don't think this is working. And it's the problem with previous experiences. It can make you feel like you're doing things wrong. But when we look at these results now, these were 8 weeks apart, and she is 13 kg heavier in this photo here. Okay, so that kind of shows you, but you would say she looks a lot leaner, right? But this is what happens when you use the right approach and you stop looking for quick fixes, when you stop looking for that instant gratification. But equally, that is the benefit of having a coach in your corner week on week to give you that correct level of guidance. But hopefully that's given you like a little bit of an overview, a very kind of like simple one, but that's kind of what I'm trying to do with these, obviously, as I kind of build them up, is just to give you some good, solid information, just because at the moment, everything on social media, it's a bit over the top, and it's one of these things that like the basics work and the boring stuff works. And I just want a place that people can kind of watch content that's going to be very simple, very to the point, and we're going to be breaking these things down week on week.